Hi muckers, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're all having the best day ever. Thank you so much for clicking on my YouTube channel today, and we're in a bit of a different setup right now. So I'm currently custom mating myself to all of this new equipment and stuff, but this is going to be my streaming setup where I'm currently tweaking everything. So I have my lights and my microphone, and basically I'm working on everything, and it's very much so a work in progress right now. But I'm really sick right now, and I just got the text that I have COVID, and I've been wondering why I've been feeling so sick, and I really wanted to film videos tonight, and I was in my other room filming with my big studio light setup, and it was actually making me throw up between every video that I was filming tonight. I've only filmed two, but I had to literally stop because like the lights were giving me a migraine, but I still wanted to film because I can't sleep and I love hanging out with all of you. So I thought that this would be like a little bit more of like a timid, way to film. So that's what I'm doing right now, and I appreciate you being here. And we're going to be making a follow-up video to something that we filmed on yesterday that you all had a lot to say on. Before we get into this video, I want to remind you that I'm doing a giveaway, which is I'm going to be giving away to 5 different people $100 on PayPal, Venmo, whatever you use. All you have to do is go and follow me on Twitch, which will be linked down below. The username is @TheAdamMcIntyre, or will just be linked down below. I get a list of people that follow me, and I will be scrolling through that at the end of the month, and 5 of those people will be getting $100. So go over and follow. I appreciate it. And also, the Muckers Discord has just launched, and we're at like 700 members already, which is so exciting, and we're posting on there all the time. So if you want to go down and join the Discord as well, you can go do that. Okay, so let's get into today's video. So we talked about yesterday that James Charles has been basically teasing for the longest time now that the launch of his makeup brand is impending. And we're all so excited about it. But no, he's been talking about this makeup brand coming, and a lot of people have a lot of opinions about it. Number one, I think we're all over the overconsumption of makeup anyway. Number two, I think people are just kind of coming to the idea that they don't really want to buy or support every single thing a makeup influencer does anymore. Number three, I think James Charles's expiry date whenever it came to creating his own makeup kind of left whenever people stopped caring about like Jeffree Star Cosmetics. Now, James has been taking to his new TikTok account, which is like James Charles Makeup or Beauty or something like that. And he's been posting on there pretty often that he has been wanting to know his audience's feedback and opinions on all of the products that he is basically making. And he's made a bunch of these videos now where he will basically show you the tester, the first round of the blush or the mascara or anything like that. And then he will say, let me know your opinion of it. Is it really good? Is it really bad? Like, let me know where you're at with it. And then 3 weeks later, we'll show the same product. The product has not been changed in any way. And he's like, I think it's ready now. I think it's... So basically, it's just this kind of way of the conspiracy Jeffree Star, James Charles, Shane Dawson and oh my god, there's too many fucking names. Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star, when they did the conspiracy documentary, which was basically making the audience feel that they were as involved in the process of the makeup creation as possible. So then they felt almost that they had to support and had to buy the makeup palette. Now, it's been alleged many times online that that was actually James Charles's idea, which was to film the process of creating makeup, but then James Charles got cancelled by Tati Westbrook, which allegedly Shane and Jeffree were involved in anyway, and they kind of stole the idea of doing the conspiracy series. So this was allegedly James's idea anyway, but now he's doing it after even Jeffree and Shane got called out for the manipulativeness of the conspiracy series. So I just think that James is in quite a hard place whenever it comes to trying to create any hype and trying to... My main thing was whenever I think of James Charles, my mind doesn't go to makeup anymore. But what I did was I posted that video and I was like, let me know your opinion, and I'm going to read through them for a YouTube video because I know that the muckers are going to have shit to say. And oh my god, you did. So what I'm going to do is click on the video and I'm going to read like the most, reacted to comments. So the first one is from Shadow Queen 2134. James needs to financially stabilize himself from behind the scenes, like real estate, stocks, etc., instead of relying on the public appearances to make him money. That's how Jeffree Star stays rich even if he got cancelled. Now, a lot of people are agreeing with this, and a lot of people are saying, well, that's not, not everyone wants to become a landlord or anything like that. But I think it's just interesting that James Charles is seemingly trying to act like we're in 2016 again with, I mean, even if you look at like Tatty Beauty flopped like within the recent times. Jaclyn Hill Cosmetics, apparently they're still doing well, but no one really cares about the influencer promoting makeup anymore unless maybe you're on TikTok. I just think that like with these main contenders on YouTube, I think they exposed themselves so much in a couple years that it kind of showed people that they're not really the most trustworthy or respectable. And I just think that James is now trying to pick up the pieces that people like him shattered. Anyway, user MK said, to me, as someone who doesn't buy makeup a lot, the problem with James crowdsourcing all these products from his audience is that it feels like his brand has no vision. It's just a hodgepodge of whatever a bunch of random people on the internet have voted for. No one wants a product like this, and instead they want something from him. They want to know what James's vision is instead of the audience. And I think that this was a really interesting point that a lot of people brought up, which was that at one stage, James Charles was known as one of the most creative, hold the laughter, this is true, he was known once as one of the more creative influencers on YouTube. And this actually, in actuality, was because he was stealing a lot of ideas, especially from black creators, black smaller creators, black small owned businesses who were posting stuff, creating ideas, and he would take a lot of that. And so people really believe that he came up with a lot of stuff. He was revolutionary, all these different things. And it's funny because when it's now came to James's own brand, he is at a bare minimum literally begging his audience to give him ideas, from the products to how to design them. And I think James is showing now that all of his ideas really were just other people's regurgitated ideas. So I think that's also an interesting point that I want to hear people's opinions on. So we have Angel said, I saw a conspiracy and I would love your opinion with this, that the reason his launch has taken so long is because originally he was going to partner with Morphe, just like Jaclyn did. So they would be paying for all the formulas, the distribution, advertising, etc., which would save him time and money. It would also make sense since he arguably was one of the biggest influencers that Morphe ever worked with. Now we know that they dropped him and the palette and stuff like that, so obviously they're not going to be working with him, but Morphe isn't going to be working with anybody because Morphe are now literally falling apart. As the days goes on, Morphe will not last. Even in the e-commerce, I don't think Morphe is going to last much longer. It would also make sense since he was one of the biggest influencers. But when he was dropped from Morphe, he started all these things all over again because he no longer had a partner taking care of everything. That's why not only it's taken so long, but that's now why he's the sole owner and basically paying for everything himself. Now, I kind of said this in my video, but I genuinely do believe, sorry by the way that the camera's going in and out of focus, I don't know how to tweak the settings and I'm still working on it. So it's a work in progress. I can get really close and keep him focused, but it's a work in progress, so just bear with me. I think that this is not really a conspiracy theory, and I think that this is probably the truth. Do I believe that James would take the easier option of working with Morphe, and they create everything, they pay for everything, and he just takes home the check? Yeah, because I feel like I would do that as well. I feel like I would do that rather than having to put my whole fucking pussy into creating a company from scratch. Like, if you can work with an established company, or, well, Morphe were, then, doing it all yourself, then I would absolutely do it. So I don't see any problem with James doing that, and I absolutely think that that was probably the reason. Now, this is all speculation. I don't know if this is true. I think that that is absolutely true, though, in my opinion. Speculation, but it just makes sense, and I think that when Morphe started dropping all of them, it affected all the influencers, and, all of them, fell out of work, but it also ultimately affected Morphe the most, because, okay, James is now creating his own company, Morphe are falling apart by the day goes on. Now, we don't know the profit that James Charles's makeup is going to make, so we'll see, but I genuinely believe that conspiracy theory that you have, and I want to know if other people do. Now, Janelle said, it just seems weird because James is like 4 or 5 years late with this brand. Okay, so Natty Ryan said, personally, I feel like YouTubers like James Charles, Jeffrey, Jaclyn, etc. need to accept that they've ran their course. I understand the nostalgia and everything, but we need to, make way for a new generation of makeup influencers who are actually wholesome, decent people. Well, we could say that about, like, the new genre of influencers, but then give them a couple years and we'll probably see awful things they've done. It's like this this weird circle of life that we go through with like the influencer cycle. And on that note, I feel like James's line may be like another form of Morphe, since that's the only brand that he's ever made stuff with. He's really self-centered, and so he might only, copy other brands and then just toss his sister hype onto it. Now that's a harsh comment, but I mean it is true that James has copied from a lot of brands, so I'll allow it. Sadly, there's so many young, impressionable people who think he can do no wrong, that I think he will have decent sales. Well, here's the thing. If people want to buy the James Charles cosmetics, which, by the way, just the Jeffree Star cosmetics, it's like, why couldn't they? I hope they come up with a different kind of name. I just think that, like, listen, even if he got amazing sales, I'd be happy for you. I'd be happy for anyone's, business doing well. But all I'm going to say is I don't know why people would, like, I just don't think of James Charles when I think of makeup anymore. Listen, I'm not even trying to be a hater. I'm just like, I don't even think of makeup when I think of Jeffree anymore. I certainly don't when I think of Shane. I just think that, like, I don't know if it is like this post-pandemic, like, overconsumption is really, like, in my brain anymore, but I just don't feel the need to buy makeup or skincare from a bunch of different celebrities, or, like, I would just buy what I enjoy. Anyways, so there's like a lot of people saying that, like Baby Chloe said, we love the unpaid work from his followers. Might as well employ them as the new marketing team at this point. Now, I saw someone. Okay, I'm actually gonna let me see if there's any other ones that I want to read out, because I want to end it on that point. There's like a lot of people saying that this is literally just the conspiracy series. And people are saying I was a fan when James's original eyeshadow palette came out, but I thought the quality was awful for him being the face of it, but that was Morphe. Alright, okay, so I'm not a huge fan of makeup, so my opinion, take it with a pinch of salt, but I'm sick of influencer makeup brands and makeup influencers. There's been so many scandals that I can't trust anyone anymore. Alright, okay, so I'm gonna read out another one before I get to the other point. Sorry, there's so many great points on here. If it were a normal, down-to-earth, small beauty YouTuber, involving fans in the creation of your product is a good idea. Great, even. They can feel like they were a part of something and involved in something, and they can feel that they were a part of your team. When the product comes out, they can buy that product and feel, I was a part of this, I helped make it. But this is James Charles. His reputation isn't as pristine as it used to be. Very light way of putting it, babe. Most fans of his have grown up and their brains have developed. They aren't buying his BS anymore. The only ones sticking around are his diehard, set in their way fans. They don't care about what he's done or what he could have done wrong. Okay, what I'm going to end on is that comment. I'm trying to find it from earlier. Oh, the unpaid work. So I remember I brought this point up in a video a while ago where I was talking about how irritating I find it that James Charles is literally getting his audience to do free work that you pay people for. Like, you pay people to run your ideas through, especially if you're going to be doing like a paid product at the end of it, or, a survey of all these different things, testers. These are what you pay people for whenever you're going to start your business, start your brand, especially whenever it's stuff you consume or stuff you put on your face or whatever. So James Charles doing this to his audience, where they're involved in the process, they're choosing all these different things, they're giving their opinions, that is different than the conspiracy series. And I don't mean to back Shane and Jeffree up here, but the series was already done by the stage the palette was done. So the audience felt involved in the process, but they really had no say in what the final product was. Because in the series, Jeffree was getting his employees to give their opinions on things, do all this, because Jeffree was paying them to do that. So James Charles is doing the conspiracy series, but doing it in a really unethical way, which is literally just getting free opinions and free judgment, which is stuff that you pay for when you're selling a product in the end. That's what annoys me, and I brought this argument up, and people were like, you're being really overly cancel culture right now, and people will love to feel involved with James Charles, and you're just being really negative, and you're being all this, and I'm like, listen, if you want to do work for him for free, good for you, but not me. And this is stuff that you would pay me for, the opinions. So it just seems that my closing thoughts on this is that the brand is lacking direction. If you're literally having to beg your audience to figure ways to promote your brand that makes you stand out, it comes across as desperate, that you have no idea what you're doing. And then whenever you're doing the same with the products, it doesn't come across as involving your audience in a sweet way. It comes across as you've no idea what you're doing. And this is a brand that's launching this year. Sorry, this brand that's launching this spring in like a month or so. We're going to see how it goes. Let me know how you're feeling with this. We can talk about it down below. I just think that this is a very directionless thing. I feel like even like Laura Lee and stuff had more direction with their brand. No shade to Laura Lee, but I'm just saying, like, if you're going to do it, don't half-ass it. Muckers, let me know your opinion. And we'll kind of close off this chapter until we hear more from James. I mean, he's posting basically every day asking for opinions and stuff, but until we, like, see the brand now, we won't really talk about it. So let me know. We'll talk about it down below, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye. Mwah.